So they had a meeting about the City West being turned into an iPad centre. That City West place, a couple of us have covered it. Sue and Paul have covered it. People like that have covered it. Like a good few Irish patriots have covered what the dangers of that place and what was going on in it. And there's been multiple videos brought out about them, about all these unvetted males bashing each other in it, like proper bashing each other and destroying the place inside. Now what's happening is they want to turn the City West Hotel into an iPad centre. They want to turn the literal hotel into an iPad centre, and the place is huge. It's massive. So that's like a mega iPad centre. You know the way you have a mosque. Well, this is a mega mosque, right? Not saying it's going to be a mosque, but they probably have something like that in there to facilitate all these unvetted males. So they had a meeting about it. They held a meeting here with the public about it to outline the plans about and what's happening and who's behind it and stuff like this. Now I'll play this through because a certain individual from Sinn Féin gets up, and you know, I did one of my daily rambles, but I didn't upload it, right? And this was about 2 days ago. I did a daily ramble and I didn't upload it because I wanted to see. I don't know if it's timestamped on my phone. It probably is, so I could probably upload it with the timestamp to show what I said 2 days ago, which was I even see members, not members, I even see supporters of Sinn Féin, supporters of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael now asking, why are we racist for wanting to talk about migration? Now let that sink in for a minute. It's finally dawning on most of these people that because they want to have a discussion about migration, because they're starting to see it now in their areas, they're starting to see these guys on social media platforms like TikTok saying, making threats towards Irish children. And they're immediately thinking, what if that's my child he's directing that at? So see, only till it affects them as the individual, as a person, do they decide to turn around and say, actually, do you know what, I think it's time we talk about migration. But they're being met with this wall of the NGOs, all the rest of them, attacking them. And they're saying, hang on, I'm a racist now for wanting to just talk about migration. Yes, that's the way it's been working, and that's the side that you've been on for the last, because all these people were part of that, you know? But because it's on their own fucking doorstep now, they're starting to realise, I can't even talk about migration without being called a racist. Welcome to our fucking world for the last 5 years, right? But anyway, let's have a listen to what this guy says here.
Up is William Carey of Sinn Féin, and I think is that the extent of.
So even just hearing his name, or the party's name being called out, there was two women in the corner that walked out and said, fuck that, I can't be arsed listening to these people, because they're not listening to the people themselves, right? But it's so blatant and obvious to people now what's happening, because look at his reaction.
Elected reps we have.
I've listened intently to what was being said here tonight. I've heard a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and I think a lot of that is genuine. I have absolutely no problem in coming along, assisting, helping, and talking to people who are expressing their fears.
So he's acknowledging that Irish people do have literal concerns, right? But we all know that these fuckers know what they're saying when they do it. And it's all word spell with these word spells, you hear me? It's all like double speak. It's all double speak in the political system. And that's how the actual system operates. It's all double speak with them. Listen, we understand, we get where you're coming from, you know. Now, I haven't really heard Sinn Féin jump to what Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael use, which is the international obligations. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't heard, I probably did down the line, but I can't remember off the top of my head about Sinn Féin adhering to these international obligations. But their actions, in the sense of holding up signs, about trying to keep all the focus on Israel Palestine. That's what that's saying to me. That they're just as much playing along with the international obligations as Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Do you get me? So let's listen to him a little bit more and see what he says.
What I won't accept is to be termed a traitor or anything else by any far-right activist who's just walked out the door here.
So there you go. Straight away to saying, now I understand, I completely understand your fears and your anxiety, you know, putting those words out to try pretend that he cares when he doesn't give a bollocks. He just cares about staying on the gravy train, like any political figure that's in there at the moment. All they care about is being able to stay on the gravy train, you know? And thankfully more and more are starting to see it. Thank God more and more are starting to see it. But did you hear that word he used? Did you just hear that word he used there? I'm going to go back. Listen to this.
Anything else by any far-right activist.
Far-right activists, as he points the finger. Far-right activist. So that man or that woman that he's labelling is an activist because they disagree with what he's saying. Or they disagree with his party's politics. Isn't that crazy? You're an activist now if you don't agree with us. Do you see it? Because I do.
He's just walked out the door here. Anyone who thinks that Clondalkin says no is not a far-right activist is not realistic.
So there you go. It's not just the one person. It's anybody that's part of that Clondalkin says no. Any of them people out there that are affiliating with Clondalkin says no, which he starts out by saying he agrees with people's fears and anxieties. That's exactly what those people are suffering from. Fear and anxiety about the safety of their area. But yet he labels them all racists and fascists. You know, I don't know if he said racist, but he definitely said fascists. Far-right activists. Do you know all this? Continue.
They are nothing more than fascist, and I will have nothing got to do with those. And I suggest that not. And I suggest that.
Bring back to the meeting. Bring back to the meeting.
That's it.
Now you all hear that discontent in the crowd. That's not dubbed in, people. That's not dubbed in over this video. That's literal discontent with these individuals that are representing political parties in Ireland. That lady just said, we know exactly what you're doing. You're trying to make people afraid. What you're doing when you talk like that is you're trying to implant fear into people to stop speaking up about what's happening in their areas. And she's fucking bang on. She's bang on the money, that woman.
That's it.
Sorry.
Now, I don't quite know what that woman said in the background, and his little smirk. I don't know what that woman said in the background there. Did she say this is not meant to be a political thing? But they're politicians. What are you talking about? They're politicians. They're meant to be representing the people. What do you mean, don't make it political? Do you know, it's just, the mind boggles sometimes how people don't see this. How they don't see the manipulation by individuals like this fella from Sinn Féin.
Can we bring it back to the meeting? Yeah. Community. Okay. Can we just bring the level down?
Look at the wrist. Look at the clenched fist. You know? They know the fucking game is up. And this is why I'm saying what you're going to see now is even more of a push. And I think I already seen images this morning of Miss MacDonald with her. Did you see them outside? I'm going to do a video on that as well. It'll be the follow-up video to this, right? Walking outside the door, all of them with their anti-Israel signs, anti-genocide. Well, they're really anti-Israel signs, right? I've said it to you many a times. I couldn't give a bollocks about Palestine or Israel. I only care about Ireland. And I'm here to point out these liars, these deceivers. These are what these people here are basically doing is that taqiyya, whatever you want to call it. You know what the Muslim lads do? How they're allowed to lie and deceive as long as their message is the one that's being heard. That's what these are doing now. That's what Irish politicians are doing now. And your woman's constantly trying to pull them off the stage here to say, well, I don't think these people want to listen to you anymore. Watch.
This is a community meeting.
My intention is not to be disruptive. It's to get a message out. Well, stop calling people fascists and far right for trying to highlight their areas being flooded. Yeah, maybe that's a good start for you, Mr. Shinner.
People who come along here to act in a genuine manner, I have absolutely no problem with that.
Yeah, and there you go. Get them down, take them down. They remove them because whoever's organising this knows the people in that room have had enough and don't want to listen to any more poison that he's spewing out of his gob. It's more of the veil being lifted, I'm telling you. This is more of the veil being lifted. And it's more of Irish people. They've pushed the Irish people to a point now where we don't give a bollocks. We don't care. We don't care what you say about us. Just face the reality of the situation and stop attacking people who show actual concern about what's happening. Yeah? Maybe then maybe then people will start listening to you. But until these fools, it's not just Sinn Féin, by the way. Obviously, it's all of them. But until they recognise that, this is what's going to happen. They're going to be booed. They're going to be shouted out of it, and no one's going to bother listening to them. A collapse of the political system if this keeps up.